were raised to think and believe, and I do, that you can do anything. You can do anything. You can do it all.
Now
Um,
that's that single mother
you can
mentality.
have it all, but it's gonna come at an expense. Like you might have it all, but you won't have all of it 100%. Like, does that make sense?
You
You
can't have
can
it all.
do you can do it all, but you're not gonna do it all at 100%. Like, there's just no way
Oh, I see what
because
you mean.
it's impossible for you to give 100% of your attention
That's
to
like saying that's like saying
something, multiple things.
that's like saying you.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life After I Do.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
I am your host, Nisha G, and I'm here with my husband.
Your husband. You ain't got to put extras on it, nigga.
I like to put extras on it.
I'm just your husband.
Okay, I'm here with my mans.
Your man? You got more than one? It's your boy Molito.
Try to be a little different for you, babe.
I don't, 23 years. I like consistency.
Goodbye. How's your week?
My week was good. I got to see the cutest little girl live. My niece Zara, and had a pretty good Thanksgiving. Probably ate more than what I should have,
But
but it was good. And shout out to Keith because we had a couple spots while we were in Vegas.
yeah, food was good. I hope everybody had a really good Thanksgiving.
I don't hope everybody. There's a couple people I wish had a terrible Thanksgiving.
Bye, Demel Gill.
I don't like everybody. I'm just being.
Goodbye.
I'm keeping it. I'm
Okay, well, I hope everybody
as
had
my
a good
man say.
Thanksgiving.
I'm just keeping it a bean.
If you were able to spend time with family and loved ones, friends, if you had a friendsgiving, all of the above, I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. I don't take for granted not one moment that we get to spend with family and friends and see each other. I am grateful and thankful for that the most. So I hope everyone enjoyed their Friendsgivings and their Thanksgivings. It was great.
Yeah. Okay.
My week was good. We had a
You also look
Friendsgiving.
good.
Thank you. We had a Friendsgiving at a friend's house. That was really fun. It
I
was
mean, well,
potluck style. That was really
I
fun.
don't like
Phoenix got
potlucks.
to play with her friend. Um, and then we had, Thanksgiving. That was really good. Got to be with family.
Oh, hell.
Always, always a good time. Phoenix got to be with her cousins. So,
One of these years, we're gonna get my wife to play Phase 10 with us again.
no, probably not. For all of those people who like and enjoy the game Phase 10, good luck.
It's like playing rummy.
I don't like Phase 10. You know what? Here's the thing. I've even thought and I've even considered trying to play the game again because I was like, just because I didn't
We enjoy
enjoy
it.
it the first time, maybe, as an adult now, I'll be able to like,
You enjoy it.
because the first time I played Phase 10, I was like, when is this gonna end? It felt like it was never gonna end. It just was not an enjoyable game for me. So maybe I would be willing to try it again. Just not anytime soon, but maybe I will, maybe in the future sometime.
Mm.
I don't know. But yeah, so my week was good. Like I said, spent time with family and friends. Baby girl had the week off from her sport activities. So we got more
'Cause
time
her
to
schedule
be
be scheduling.
right. So we got more time to be at home. We got cuddles in. We played games at home. We rode bikes. We played in the backyard.
I worked 3
Mm,
days.
yes, we did all of this while you were at work. It was I mean, of course we missed you.
Y'all ain't about nothing.
Of course we missed you is what I meant to say.
Y'all don't miss me. Y'all don't miss me. Y'all be snapping
What
your whole day away like I ain't gonna see you. That's why I don't be on
what I
Snapchat.
meant to say is that we totally missed you
No, you didn't.
when we baked cookies and stuff. And why okay, so this is probably my favorite. I love the fact that okay, I like to watch old shows. And I just love that Phoenix will ask to watch the old shows now. Like she literally came to me and she said, "Mom," I said, "What?" She said, "Can we watch Jeffersons?" I said, "Yes. Yes, we can. And she said, Louise is my favorite. I said, Is Louise Jefferson your favorite? She was like, Yeah. I said, Okay, let's sit down and watch an episode.
I need to be reading
So,
books.
she read books. Thank you very much. Her teacher said that she needs to focus more just on her writing because her reading skills
Phoenix need
are
to
top
understand
tier.
she
Thank
what she
you.
needs to write and practice her gymnastics and her dance because
She does.
I'm looking forward to her retirement, putting me in retirement early.
Okay, you shouldn't even put that pressure on her like that. It's not her responsibility to retire you, but okay. So yeah, so we did that. I made us some lunch and we sat down and watched an episode of Jeffersons too. So that's really fun. I do like having those moments with her. And she legit be like laughing. Cause sometimes she would laugh at stuff and I'd be like, I'm pretty sure you didn't understand any of what just happened. But because she heard the audience laughing, she's
Mhm.
like, Oh, that's the cue to laugh. And she'd be like,
It don't really matter when it comes to Jefferson. Florence is the only reason to watch the show because Florence is a trip.
But wait, can we talk about how I got everybody in the house watching Jeffersons? Like, even when you get dressed for work and I turn it on in the morning, you be sitting there, you get stuck. You be standing there putting your shirt on, but then you stand right there in the doorway for like 20 minutes watching an episode of Jeffersons.
I mean, because it remind me of growing up.
I know it's really good. And I told Phoenix, I said after Jefferson's we gonna start Good Times again. And she said, Good Times? I was like, You don't remember
Pancakes
watching
in a
Good Times. I
jar.
said, but now we gotta go back to the opposite
Yeah,
side.
she watched Good Times
So we
because
didn't
James wasn't playing around. He was whooping them kids behind.
so I was like, we didn't got our apartment in in the
Right.
sky. Now I'm gonna show
You
you
did that
I'm gonna show
backwards.
you where the bottom starts.
You did that backwards.
Right. I said, and then by the time that's over, I should be ready to start Golden Girls again. And then after that, I'm gonna be ready to
You need
start
to
In the
watch
Heat of
Three's
the
Company
Night.
while you slipping.
Never really cared too much for Three's
Come and
Company.
knock on our
Come
door.
and knock on our door. We've
We've
been
been waiting
waiting
for
for
you.
years. I do remember the song. My auntie used to watch Three's Company. No, but I'm trying to give myself a break before I start Golden Girls over again because
Golden
that's
Girls is
and if you guys have if I don't think a lot of people even knew because I think I want to say there was only one season of Golden Palace. So Golden Palace is what came on after Golden Girls, like once they had their series finale when Dorothy ended up marrying Blanche's uncle, I think it was, and they moved away and it was just the three. It was just the three girls. They ended up selling Blanche's house. They took all the money and the proceeds, liquidated all of their funds, and they bought a hotel in Florida on the beach. And the show was called The Golden Palace, and it was basically them like, moving on and running a hotel. And it
in
had
their
Don Cheadle
sixties.
and it had Don Cheadle in it when he was younger. It was such a good show. And
Then
I
it got
was like,
canceled. It was so good it got canceled.
well, I don't know if it did have more than one season. I just only remember I only watched the one season because that's what was available on Hulu. So I'm gonna have to look
Okay.
into and see if there was more.
We can't. We're not going to be plugging all these shows. We're not getting paid for this.
Bye. But anywho, yes. So Golden Palace. So yeah. So today on the docket, I like to say that sometimes. Today on the
You've never said that
docket, we're going
before.
to be talking about I like to call it the great debate. I feel like in this time, in this era and time and like, in society and everything, there has been basically like a gender war.
No, it's
it's
still
like
going on.
it's like men versus women and I don't understand why there needs to be. And one of the biggest topics that are always constantly talked about is gender roles and how gender roles are, some people are on the side of traditional gender roles are beneficial. Other people are like, it's dumb. Let's do away with it. It doesn't make sense. Like, anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. And I just really wanted to have that discussion because I don't feel like we've ever talked about it in the sense of just discussing it as a topic,
Hmm.
and how our family lifestyle is set up right now
Oh man, I
or
mean,
how it was set up before. Like I don't feel like there was like
I can speak on both. I've been on both sides of the fence. I can speak on both.
right. So that's why I kind of wanted to get into because from our perspective right now in this moment, and I always say right now in this moment because our situation always changes.
It
Right
does.
now in this moment, I think I mean, we're in a what would be considered a traditional setting,
Yeah.
right? So I stay home.
We have traditional pronouns.
We have
He, him.
she, her. We have traditional we have traditional settings. I stay home, and oddly enough, I am a homemaker. I actually do make shit. So I'm at home and I'm a homemaker, and he goes outside and he works, and he provides our financial needs. Um what do you think, and let me ask you this. So when we were both working, what was your thoughts about that? Do you
Look,
like
here's the
when
thing.
we lived the dink life?
Oh, first of all, I love Dink
Yeah.
life.
So dink life is dual income, no kids.
Dink life,
That's what dink means.
Dink,
Dink
Dink,
life was good. Dink
Dink
life was
life,
good when we actually started making a little bit of money,
Dink life
a little bit more
was
money.
great, right?
Yeah,
Now the thing about Dink life, because there's pros and cons to everything,
of
right?
course,
So the
obviously.
pros of Dink life is like there was never a shortage of money. It was
I mean,
nah,
no,
nah,
no,
nah,
not in this. That's why I said, like,
nah,
once we got to,
no.
like once you went
I'm
full
talking about
time and
yeah.
stuff like that,
I'm
yes.
talking about
But we
before.
had some struggle years in dink
No,
life.
we're not talking about before
Okay,
that.
but
We talking about
we talking about post struggle
we talking
years.
about once I started driving,
Yeah,
right?
post struggle years.
So like literally like we went from we was doing okay, we got by, we can go
Yeah,
out every now and again,
to having
to,
some disposable
right?
income.
To eating out every night.
I wouldn't say every night,
We,
but I mean, you know, I didn't cook a lot.
we no one could
No one
lie.
cooked a lot, actually.
It got to the point where it honestly got to the point to where I don't
No
even
one
think
cooked a lot.
I think we pretty much just bought snacks at the grocery store because
No,
we
we
I'm
didn't.
telling
We bought groceries.
we
It
didn't buy
wasn't
groceries
like
like that.
that, Jamel. Stop
We
it.
was cooking breakfast at home.
Yeah, we're
And
always pretty good about cooking
and
breakfast.
the only time one of us would cook if it's like one of us like if I got off before you did or you got off before I did, then we would cook.
Yeah,
But if it was ever a time where we were gonna get off at the same time, where you want to meet at? Where we gonna eat?
right, right,
Where we gonna eat at?
right.
Or there was times where you were working late and I would call my brother and you're like, hey bro, let's go to Slater's.
Yeah.
And I'd be at
And you guys would meet up at
we go and
Slater's.
then
Yeah.
so I was either going to the bar with my brother or we were going out there, like, come on.
Those
Date
were
life
good
was
times.
great,
Those were good times.
right? Blew a
Oh,
lot of money at Dink Life on
okay,
food.
but then we moved into having a child
Mm.
and both working. And what was that like from your perspective?
It was terrible. It was terrible, and let me tell you why it was terrible.
He says it was
It was
terrible.
well, one because we had to work opposite schedules.
Yeah.
So
And my schedule fluctuated so
right.
much.
So I was working nights, you were working during the day. I was living off naps, 3 hours here, 4 hours there, trying to make sure, everything was so it wasn't working.
Like juggling the schedules.
It just wasn't working. And then on top of that, she was what, 6 months, 7 months, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Because I went back to work when she was 4.5 months.
so
I had to get up out of there.
you did that.
I had to get up out of there.
And then, we're not gonna talk about you just tricking me. You really
Cause I was like, I
you
gotta go. I was experiencing. I didn't realize that. Well, I guess
it
I did
really
realize
here's the
that I
thing.
had a little bit of postpartum, but I was just like, I gotta go. Like, you
What
gotta take care of your baby. You
it
wanted. I
really
gotta go.
irritated me that I would wait until the absolute last minute to leave for work just to be here in case something happened, in case you need me. And you would literally leave for work 2 hours early
Every day.
just
Every
to
day.
not be here. And
Every
then
day.
act like you didn't have time to take her to daycare
Couldn't do it.
so I could sleep.
You know why? Because I don't like rushing in the morning.
You were
Okay?
leaving 2 hours
It's
ahead of time.
because I had a system in place, okay? So my mornings, I would get up. I like to take my time to get
And
ready for work.
again,
I like to
again,
take
and
my time to
again,
get my coffee. I like to make
and
sure that if I
again.
run into traffic, I'm not sitting there panicking in traffic. I can
And
just
none
sit
of
there
that wasn't
comfortably,
and none of that was in service to me. That was kind of should be that was your self-care time.
and you
And
you wanted time with your baby. So
I didn't get that luxury.
you wanted time with your kid.
So
You got time with your
so
kid.
I would say the dual income with the child, it didn't with the schedules, it didn't work. And then
Mhm.
finally, working night, my health got worse. And
Yeah.
so my doctor pretty much told me
Stop.
you stop working nights or you're going to be in trouble. So then she started going to daycare full time and we both was working. And then it was
Still the schedule thing because I worked an hour away,
and it took me an hour to get home
and then it
too.
took him an hour to get home.
So
And then there was instances where if I didn't leave like work exactly on time, and then God forbid there was an accident or I was late, then I was late picking her up.
and
And
I
I
will say
remember one
this.
time her daycare lady was like, literally, she had a plane to catch.
Yeah,
And I was like 13 minutes late. And she was like, this cannot happen. Like, I told you
yeah,
I need to
yeah,
go.
yeah. I will say that that uh, through the grace of God, her daycare lady
It was a
was
godsend.
was a godsend because
Thank
like
you, McFadden, family daycare, Laquita McFadden.
she
Thank you.
worked with us.
She worked with us so
She
much.
and I
So
no,
very grateful.
even though the one incident where, you know, the with the my baby in her face,
Oh, yeah, when she
I
got
didn't
hurt.
even, like, get mad about
Oh, you absolutely
I
did.
was mad,
You I
but
actually
but
almost took her head off.
I didn't yell at Quita.
Yeah, you
Did
did.
I?
You got very aggressive. That's why she called me before she called you. And she was like, because I know your husband is gonna be so upset. And I was like, the fact that you think I'm not upset, my baby's face is pink.
Well,
But she was
anyway, I
fine.
would just say she was a godsend, she helped us out, and not only did she help us out, she gave us a really good price.
Yeah, we love her.
Uh,
Still talk to her to this day.
yeah,
Love you, Quita.
yeah, like
But yeah,
yeah,
so
so
it was a struggle. It wasn't impossible, obviously,
mm,
because we made it work for, a few years. And then COVID happened.
right.
And he was essential, so he didn't stop working. I was
Not a motherfucking day off.
I was non-essential, but I was still working from home, but I wasn't like clearly doing all the work I would do when I was at work. But I was working from home and I worked from home for a few months. And then my position, they did away with my position at the location that I was at, and then I got a call back for the location that I applied for the year before, which is where I wanted to go. Higher volume, bigger staff. Like, the what I wanted the year before COVID had happened is what was presented to me after after they did away with the position that I had previously. And so I remember it was around Phoenix's birthday because when my old boss had called me to offer me the position, I was just like, last year, I immediately would have been like, yes, like, of course, because this is what I want, because I was on, the path of progression. And I was like, I had a goal and I knew the position I wanted to be in into the next 2 years. And I was on that track, I was on that path. Everything was great. My money was good. Like, everything was hitting. And then being at home for those few months and him being out and working and the dynamic of that, me being here with Phoenix and just kind of like settling into being home. I remember when she called and offered me the position, I literally said to her, is it okay that I think about it a little bit and give you a call back? And I could hear it in her voice. She was kind of like, oh, yeah, sure. She was like, okay, go ahead and take the weekend, because we were going to be having Phoenix's, I think it was her third birthday party, because CJ and them were here. It was her third birthday party over that weekend. And I was like, let me get through the birthday party, let me talk to my husband, let me see how this is going to work out, because I know I'm going to be having to drive to a different city too, and then we'll come back. I'll come back and I'll give you an answer. And she was like, yeah, sure. And I remember us having the conversation, and I remember you saying to me, well, you know what my choice is, because he has always kind of expressed to me that he would rather have me at home with our kids and him go out to work, because that's, he comes
That
from.
was my decision. That
Yes,
was my choice, but
that was
but
but
I
it wasn't your
always
decision
allowed
to
you to
make.
make the decision,
Right.
right?
Because even
'Cause I
when
don't want you
I
over here having people think I'm over here just making you do
Oh my gosh, stop it.
you
Because
wildin'.
even when I was at work, like sometimes I would be under a lot of stress, and he would always just say like, "Why don't you just try being home?" And for me, I'm like, we just moved into a new house, we've got new expenses, things like that. And I didn't want to, not only from the financial aspect of it, I also, for my personal feeling, like I loved going to work. I loved what I did. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but to me, I was like, if you subtract daycare from what you bring home, and then
Gas.
and the gas and the oil changes and then
And the stress.
you add me working like 2 to 3 more hours more every day, like it's gonna replace your job.
Yeah. And
It's like,
so
so it doesn't really.
he was and it took me we've had the conversation about being a stay-at-home parent before, and part of me, I think this is so part of me felt like, okay, yes, I could do it and I would love to be at home with my kid. The other half of me was, what do I do with myself if I agree to this? Like
I
I'm
got
I
a list of things you could do.
I've always been pretty much like an ambitious person,
You're a
a
go-getter.
go-getter.
You a go-getter.
I enjoy work. I enjoy having a planner. I enjoy writing things down, knocking things off my list.
You and your
I
damn list.
enjoy like hitting goals. I enjoy, all of those things. I enjoy those things. I enjoy being in charge of something and leading something and being responsible for something and people depending on me. Like I like that. That's what kind of drives me.
Your
And
family depends on you.
my family does depend on me and I get that satisfaction. But when I was thinking about making the decision to stay home, I was just like, okay, okay, like let me just wrap my head around it. So anyway, long story short, we talked about it and he was just like, we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Just trust me. That's what he said to me. Just trust me. And I was just like, okay, okay, if you're comfortable enough with it and you're telling me that I can trust you and that you are going to
Tell the
take
whole
all of this
story.
on,
Tell the whole story.
what?
When you decided to trust me, tell the whole story. What'd you do?
What'd I say? What'd I do?
You went all the way in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You
You
went for
gave me you told me to trust you and that's what I did.
you went straight into pajamas for a year.
It's not pajamas. I transitioned to leggings, don't play my life. Anyway, so, long story short, I ended up staying and, I've been home for a little over 3 years now
No, it's
and
almost 4.
almost 4.
Almost
Yeah,
4.
it'll be 4 next year.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been home a little, a while over 3
Now, I
years
will
now.
say this. I will say this. When you were working, the financial burden of I was probably working, Lord knows, I would like, because I was like, because your hours were like boom every week, right?
Yeah,
And so I would always cut my days short so I could be here. And I was
because
like,
there would be enough with
right,
my paycheck.
right. So I was working
Right.
like,
So the fact that you just tried
look
to
here, y'all,
downplay my paycheck just
y'all,
a
look here,
second ago was real
look here.
funny.
I'm not okay.
That's
Hold on
real
now.
funny.
Hold on now. I'm not saying your paycheck didn't matter.
I
I'm
was
just
like, you trying to
saying
make it
like,
seem I made chump change
I mean, compared to
compared
me,
to you.
yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
but still,
You did. You did. Because like my check was like twice
I
the size
know,
of yours, and I was only working like
but
5 more hours a
still,
week. So calm down. Okay.
but
Calm
still,
down.
I made decent
Calm.
money.
You are
Okay,
making enough to pay for your car. Calm down.
I made decent money.
Calm down. But I would say this, like having like I was like, oh man, like if I didn't want to go to work on a
It's
Thursday,
cool.
Friday,
Yeah,
oh I'm not.
because your wife don't miss work.
She missing work.
This one ain't missing work.
She not missing. She gonna be there. Me, I there's a running joke at my place of employment, and they know it's true. I can come in on Monday, not like the vibes, and straight up look you in the face and say, "I will see you next Monday." I am not dealing with this. I am not dealing with this. But now I'm not in that position where I could do that all the time.
Right.
So it's like, but back when she was working, oh no, pimp, I'll see you next week.
But okay, so like being home now and being a stay-at-home mom and having the traditional setup that we do have, um I it has its moments. Don't get me wrong. It has its moments, but I feel like now and over the past 3 years since I have developed our routines and our schedules and our things like that, I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. Like now, granted, we have talked about me going back into work, right? But we both agree that the type of schedule that I had before
Will not work.
wouldn't be conducive to our family and in service of our family. But as far as being home and being a stay-at-home parent, I like this traditional setup. I enjoy being able to be of service to my family. And I think that's a lot to be said because I am needed. You know what I mean? Like I think
You
for
feel
me,
wanted
I do feel wanted. I do feel wanted and I do feel needed. And I
in more than one way?
Huh?
More than one way?
Well, yeah. But I'm just saying, I think with today's tone and today's society, sometimes women are made to feel like if they not a boss, if they not all going to get the bag, if they not doing this, not doing that, and focusing so much just on themselves that they're not like, what are they doing? What
But
service
here's
do
my
you
my
serve?
my question to you is how are you not a boss?
Well, so for me, like how I always say, I call myself the COO of our household.
But how are you not a boss?
That's what I'm saying. Like in my own right, I'm a boss. In my own
What?
right, I'm a boss because I have people who depend on me. If I decide to stop doing something, things don't run how they would normally run if
Those are
I
some bad
oversaw them.
days.
You know what I'm
I hate when
saying?
you get sick.
I do too. Trust me. I do too.
Could you come
It
back
is
to some work, huh?
it's I don't like getting sick either. But what I'm saying is that I think there's not enough conversation about the benefits of there being traditional roles. I think traditional roles do serve their purpose, just like I think that unconditional roles have a
Right.
purpose as well, right? I don't think that when you have two parents who are outside working, that absolutely can work. And in today's climate, it's kind of necessary. You know what I mean?
With
It's
inflation,
with
it's inflation, and
inflation, like I mean, there's been times like I've been to the grocery store and I was like, pimp, like I'm gonna have to at least get out here on the weekend and do something because this is
because
getting a little out of hand. So,
because a 20 is 100 nowadays.
right. So, you mean 100 is a 20?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to like traditional roles, I think there's not enough conversation around how beneficial traditional roles can be, even though that it's difficult to have in today's
Yeah.
time, right? What do you think about that? Like what do
I
you
don't think
think
it's
that
I don't think
do you
it's
think that the
I
traditional
don't
roles
I
that
don't
we have now
I
are better than what we had before?
for us personally,
Yeah, for us personally. Like, did you like it better when we were both working, or do you like it in this setup now? The setup you created, by the way.
I would say I would say, financially, I like the other arrangement,
Uh-huh.
right? It was a lot less stress. Like, I didn't fully comprehend the
All
amount
that you would be
the
taking on?
all the amount of stress I was taking on, and if I'm being fully honest, sometimes it's a lot to bear.
Yeah,
I think I wear it pretty well most days,
you do.
especially since I don't drink anymore. Uh, but I do, prefer the way things are set up now,
What, with me being
and
home?
with you being home, and it's
Mhm.
strictly because the way it benefits our daughter.
Yeah.
And so, and that's actually what I tell myself. When people, why do you do this for my child? Why are you working late? Because my child has activities. They all cost money.
Yeah.
Why? Because my child. I'm doing this so that my child can have. I want her to experience as much as she can, and I understand that um that takes that takes daddy to work more than what he would like to.
Right.
That also means daddy's going to miss things that he don't want to miss,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't um I wouldn't trade this for anything because I feel like it's beneficial to her, and I see in her face like the times that we do get together, like the interaction that we do have,
Mhm.
like when we went to lunch last week, like just like that, like it made her day to see daddy walk into the Chipotle or whatever,
Mhm. Because
and
that moment she had those
right,
times she has with you
right.
is precious.
So it's like, and when we play, Daddy Monster, Phoenix,
Mhm.
Superhero Phoenix, like stuff like that. Like so,
Mhm.
everything like it heightens that, right? So, and it's kind of like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of feel good when I walk home and she's like, "All right, mom, I'll be playing with you all day. My dad's here.
Yeah.
Like I'm done with
Yeah.
you, mom. Like dad's here." So like some days it makes me feel really really even when I'm extremely tired. Like okay, like she brings me the energy to be like okay yeah. So I would personally choose the roles we have now because I believe that that works for our dynamic because
Mhm.
the factors allow us to. Now, I understand that there are a lot of people who don't have the same factors that we have, and that
Right.
they both have to work. But I also understand that if we may be like when she's a 10, 11, it may be a different conversation because she may not want to do with us by then.
Right. It might be a little different depending on what she's doing and what she's got
Yeah.
going on. I also, one of the other reasons why I like this situation now is I see the impact that it has on her, right? And what does she always say when I tell her that I'm going to go back to work?
Mommies don't work. Mommies stay home. Daddies go to work.
That's what she always says. She says mommies don't work, daddies go to work and mommies stay home. And I
And
have to explain to her, babe, not all mommies stay home.
no, 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 no. Don't do that. I'm making her life. I'm raising her right. It's gonna be so hard on whoever she chooses.
Goodbye.
She like, mommies don't. I don't
No,
work.
she said, "Oh no, I'm pregnant now, sir."
I don't work. You did this. You had to figure it out.
No, but I enjoy having the time with her. I enjoy being able to pour back into our home. Um, I do get a level of satisfaction from that, and I do like the time that it does free up for me to do other things
Mhm,
that can bring in income to help supplement your income. You know what I mean? It's not on the scale that I was doing it before with the crazy schedule and the hectic schedule and like, the timelines and deadlines and things like that,
mhm.
but it does give me the space to where I can still pour into our home, I can still pour into you and her, and have something that is also still for myself
It
and
also
satisfy my needs as
it
well.
also gives you the space to look at stuff and realize that you don't like it no more. You want shit to change
Well,
and
yeah,
cost
that
me money.
too. That too.
Because I said, you know what, she'd have had this many complaints when she was working because she shit.
Because I didn't see it, but that's another thing. When I was working, I was very tunnel vision. So for me personally, the type of person and worker that I
Worker bee.
am, I am tunneled visioned, okay? If I am on something, I am on it. It's like I'm the type of
Mm,
person who didn't stop it. I am like I'm the type of person who doesn't mind answering emails at home, and it's terrible. I do 10 out of
mm.
10 would not recommend. It is terrible
I
and
used
some
to
might
I used
say
to always tell her, "You never clock out."
right, and some people might say, "Oh, that's poor time management." But it's like I enjoyed working. Like that was my thing. I enjoyed working. Working for me was my space away from home, away from you, away from her and things like that. Then I transitioned into something where it was I'm here 24/7, and the first year, like once I actually was like home and knew I wasn't going back to work, it felt like a vacation because I was working so much and because I was under, the stress and things at work, it felt like a vacation.
Yeah, I
And
guess so.
then
You always in pajamas.
I slowly realized, oh no, boo, we have to have like I have to get back on a schedule how I was when I was going to work. You know what I mean? And still have my off days and still have a lunch and still get up with an alarm. Like that's what I had to slowly but surely implement. And like I said before, now that we're 3 years in and we have a schedule, we have things going on, like when I'm here and I'm here by myself, I know like between 9 and 11, this is what I'm going to do. Between 12 and 1, this is what I'm going to do. I pick her up at 1:40, like sit and wait for her. She gets out at 2. We go here. I got to get her an hour nap. Then we got to get up. We got to run errands. She got to come. Like now that there's a groove I've settled into, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine trying to do all that I do here now in the house and still go outside and work.
Mm.
Not to say that it can't be done because obviously people do it every single day.
Yeah, I
And if
mean
I had to do it, I would absolutely do
I
it.
mean, and if you
But
if
I'm just saying that thinking about all the things that I do and that I'm responsible for, like our household, which is pretty much everything in the household, I couldn't imagine trying to still take all of that on and still go out and work 8 or 9 hours.
and I want you to know that if you go work, you're gonna still be responsible for what you're responsible now.
That's absolutely not gonna happen, and we've had that discussion too, which I feel like is also part of the reason why you don't want me to go back to
Look
work.
here, Phoenix and I we're used to a certain lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah.
have provided us this lifestyle,
Mhm.
and it's up to you to make
Mhm.
for us to
Remember how you
maintain it.
talked about DINK life and you were like, "Oh, we ate out all the time."
No,
Yeah.
it's different with 3 people.
Yeah.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
no.
Well, if you don't help with dinner, guess what? Mama's not cooking 7 days a week. Made that plain and clear. So, but like, yeah, so with the traditional roles, what do you think is the biggest hang up? Why? Aside, let's just talk outside of the finances.
Mm.
Outside of the finances, because I know that's like the number one thing people will bring up is that it's just not. it's not feasible for there to be one parent that stays home in today's climate with the rising prices of everything. Outside of that, what do you think are some of the reasons why people don't
I
like
think
traditional roles?
I think it's the
Let's say from men. Why, just from a
I'm
male's perspective?
I'm gonna I'm gonna just I don't why the people don't like
Why
to
why men would probably not want a traditional,
wife.
like a tradition. Well, see when you say that, it's like, yeah, they want a traditional wife, but then they also want that traditional wife to still go out and work.
Okay, so my thing is okay. I'm gonna just say how why. So traditional roles, I feel like for why men would want it,
Why they wouldn't,
wouldn't want it.
why they don't want it. Cuz I hear a lot of that, like when I'm scrolling on
Well,
social
I feel
media.
like I feel like most men wouldn't want that because they wouldn't want to feel like they're just taking care of another person, and I don't feel like they really understand the value of having a stay at home wife brings. Um, because yeah, you can all that talk of I can hire a maid, I can hire a cook, yeah, yada yada bullshit. You can do that. That's gonna be a lot of money. It's gonna be
Right.
a lot cheaper to just have somebody in there
Right.
doing
Right.
it right. So I think I honestly I feel like to me I think what it boils down is to it's them being selfish, right?
Mm,
It's being like, why am I going to go out here and provide a life for you when you can help, when you're of able body,
able-bodied.
right?
Uh-huh. Even when there's
Right,
kids involved.
right. So like like I've said from my point of view, like I said, like you staying home, and I wanted you to stay home strictly for the benefit of our daughter.
Yeah.
It wasn't about you at all. It really wasn't about you.
That's funny cuz you sold it to me that way.
I know. But it was about the benefit of our child. Now, granted, I did say, "Hey, I'm going to expect these things from you."
Yeah,
Like
like we had a
like
discussion. Right.
I'm you're not going to stay home and just take care of her and then I'm going to go out here and work 6 hours a week and you think I'm going to come home and do what I'm doing now. That's not going to happen,
And that's
right?
that's reasonable.
Right? Cuz if I'm honest with the listeners out there, I don't do anything at the house. I I I sleep, shower, and brush my teeth, and she does everything else. I don't
It's not
I
gonna
don't
go over well with people.
I mean,
No, I'm
hey,
joking.
it is what it is. But that I mean, it
If
is
I need help, you help me.
yeah, when you need it,
When I need help,
when yeah,
you
when
help
you need
me.
it, but I don't volunteer it.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I'm
You
not
don't take initiative.
at all. And I don't plan on to because in my mind, I'm holding up mine in the bargain.
Right. But that doesn't mean that our our two roles don't overlap at
Sometimes
times.
they do.
Yes.
Sometimes they do.
Like I want to get that straight. Like
But let's mess
I'm
up.
not over here Cinderella in it, y'all. Like relax.
I know you're not because Hillary was on her hands and knees cleaning for us.
Oh my god.
and
No,
you have a
I'm not gonna
you
be on
have
my
a
hands and knees.
you have a abyssal machine that cleans your floor.
Now I did look. Now I did the other day bend over to scrape something with my fingernail, but that's as far as I'm going. I'm not gonna.
I wouldn't have did that.
I did.
I would have just sprayed some solution.
Well, this when I was buffing the floors, it wasn't like coming out, and I was like, "What is it?" And it was like stuck gum or something from the shoe. That's why I tell you not to wear shoes around the
I don't.
house. So somebody wore shoes around the house, otherwise it wouldn't have got in.
Anyway,
And so yeah,
anyway, so I don't. So I would think if as a man, if you don't want like a traditional role, or if you want your wife to work, I think that has to be with a that has to be an internal issue that or some type of trauma that triggers you to think that way. Because if you don't see all the benefits to that, um, I think if you would, I'm sorry, I think if you could clearly see all the benefits to having a wife that stay home and tend to the children and tend to the house like that, make life easier for you. If you could afford it, I think you will want it. Now, granted, I can see men not wanting that with the person they have now because that person's not holding up their end of the bargain. Because, like, for instance, in our situation, the way it's set up, like if you weren't holding up your end of the bargain, I would definitely feel some type of way.
oh yeah,
Like, and it
and
would
same,
it would be World War III around here
and
because
same.
it you know, and so in that regard, I can see I guess I can see a man saying, "No, I don't want that because I don't wanna have to deal with the potential I'm not getting what I need from a stay-at-home wife and have
Mhm.
to do." And so and you know, I can see it from that angle, but I mean, honestly, it's not bad
Right.
if you
Um,
got a real one.
goodbye. And then for I think for me or some females, we are well, for me, we're raised to think and believe, and I do, that you can do anything. You can do anything. You can do it all.
Now
Um,
that's that single mother
you can
mentality.
have it all, but it's gonna come at an expense. Like you might have it all, but you won't have all of it 100%. Like, does that make sense?
You can't have it all.
You can do it all, but you're not gonna do it all at 100%. Like, there's just no way
Oh, I see what
because
you mean.
it's impossible for you to give 100% of your attention
That's like
to
saying that's like saying
something, multiple things.
that's like saying you can do 5 things really good or you can do 3 things great.
Right. So, I think for me, it's like I've had these moments where I'm like, okay, I'm college educated, I have a college degree, I have skills, I am talented, and I'm at home taking care of my home and my husband and my child every day, all day.
Doing the Lord's work.
Part the knowing the ambitious part of Kinesha and that part of Kinesha, sometimes they used to like clash, right? Because part of me would also feel like I'm wasting like my time and energy too. Like what
Are
was,
you?
you know? But then on the other
Tell me
note to
more.
that, it's like, no, I'm not. Like society will condition you to believe that because you are not, out there working in a traditional sense or, out there getting to the bag, like they say, that what you do in the home is not as valuable, if not more valuable. Do you know what I mean? And so for me, I have learned to try to have those moments and keep those things that are just for myself that is outside of you and outside of Phoenix, which is like goes back to the episode when we talked about us having hobbies and having things that give us fulfillment outside of each other. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Because it's important to always get back to you too. It's important for you to have a self identity, and being a mother in general, you can very easily lose your self identity because you lose your self identity to just being a mom, or you lose your self identity to just being a wife, or being a homemaker, a caretaker, and things like that. But I wouldn't trade the time that I have been blessed with to be home with my child for anything in the world. No amount of money could be given to me to trade the last 3 years that I got to homeschool her, and that I got to watch her progress, and I got to wake up with her and put her down at night and play with her during the day. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and make sure that when you came home, the house was clean and you had dinner and we had time together as a family, and knowing that my part helped to cultivate those moments that we had as a family.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I think with today's era, things can be looked at so selfishly. And I think that's what it comes down to. Like
Mhm.
how you said, it can be a selfish motive from a man's perspective to say, I'm not going to take care of an able bodied woman. Like, you should be able to get up and like do something. And to think that women who stay home, or men who stay home, there are stay at home fathers. Let's not forget that. But to think that a parent who
Lucky.
stays home, to think that there's a parent who stays home, that they're not doing anything with their day, that they're lazy and they just get to like watch TV all day and do just pretty much live a life of luxury. That's not always the case, because if you are dependent, someone's depending upon you to take care of the entire household, just like how you said you don't do anything, that's a lot, right? Like, we have a two-story home. I have to clean all those bathrooms. I have to vacuum and sweep and mop floors.
Mhm.
I have to cook
We
dinner.
appreciate you.
I do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and
We
snacks and in
we
between.
appreciate
I'm
you.
the one who's doing homework. I'm the one who's doing bath time. I'm the one who's running the errands. I'm the one when you call 3 o'clock in the evening and say, "Hey, I forgot to go to the bank this morning. I need you to go to the bank." I gotta go make that bank run. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm of service to my family, and I'm doing something every single day. Every single day. So
So
when
yeah,
I make that time that I have for myself to work on like my side businesses, or to like go to the gym or do so, I appreciate those times, right? Because those are times where I can just be Kinesha. But I'm working just as hard as I did, if not harder, when I went out to work.
Well, I
And
always
everything
say
that I do here is more valuable than anything I could have done when I was out there.
and I always say, I always give you credit because I said, "What you do day in and day out, I don't want I have no problem clocking in.
I appreciate that.
I wouldn't do it."
That's just like I remember that one time when I did get sick and you were like, "What do you want to eat?" And I said, "Oh, I really want some what did I say? What was the meatball soup?"
Some soup you had to make. I said, "This is
Oh
bullshit."
gosh, I can't even think of the name right now, but it's a Mexican meatball soup. And he was like, "Do you want me to buy it or do you want me to try and make it?" And I was like, "I would really love if you could like make it cuz it's like super simple, you know?" And then that way like when I want some more, we can have leftovers instead of you going and spending $20 every time I want some. And when I tell you, this man went downstairs, like first he went to the store, he got all the ingredients, he came home, he made sure I was straight, gave me my medicine, tucked me in. He was like, "I'm gonna go downstairs and start on your soup." I was like, "Okay." I heard every cabinet slam, I heard every pot slam. I can't tell you how many dams I heard, how many you know what it made me think of on the color purple when after she had the kitchen all cleaned up and
And
organized
he couldn't find nothing?
and he was trying to cook for Suge. Remember, he was trying to, and he did not know anything about that damn
I didn't know
kitchen.
where nothing was at.
He didn't know where nothing
Hold up.
was at. All I
So
heard was, "Damn it, where the hell is the?" Now
so
this used to be,
so, before she started staying home, I did most of the cooking.
yeah.
I
He
mean,
did most of the
because
cooking, yeah, and we split the cleaning.
because I was a better cook anyway.
Whatever.
But so I kinda knew where stuff
He knew his
was,
way around the kitchen,
but
basically.
my wife has now reorganized the house apparently, and
It's
I'm
like years ago,
I'm
guys.
still asking where stuff is,
And then I've thrown things out, got new things.
and I don't know
And
what
he did not know what to do in that
I couldn't
kitchen, and
find
I
my
was
pot.
baffled.
She got rid
Yeah,
of my pot.
he was I was like, "What?" And I'm sitting there laying in bed, and I'm under 2 blankets, I got a Snuggie on, I have a hoodie on, and I can still and the door was closed, and I could still hear him bitching and moaning downstairs, and
I
all I
was
kept thinking to
struggling.
myself was, "I'm gonna get this soup in about 4 hours." A soup that
But you're
should
gonna get it.
I
But you're
was
gonna get it.
I said
That's the point.
I said the fact that he doesn't even know his way around his own kitchen.
I know where shit was.
He don't know his way around his
Then she
own
had spices
kitchen.
not labeled. I said, "What is this?"
I knew exactly what they were. But like but that just goes to that speaks to like I said, I recognize what I do and what I provide for my
It's a
family
lot.
and the life that I provide for my family. Like I just like how you provide a life for us, I provide a life for us, right? And that does bring me a level of
Well, I
satisfaction.
would say I provide the life and you make it comfortable.
I mean, well, you provide and I multiply.
Okay.
Isn't that how they say
All right.
it?
Sure.
Isn't that how they say it? So yeah, so I just think like in a nutshell, this whole back and forth, I think we need to take the self-absorption out of it. I think that we need to recognize that both men and women, it's not easy on either parts. You have your own crosses to bear as a man, and I have my own crosses to
Right.
bear as a woman, and we can agree that both sides are hard.
And it's not me versus you.
Right, and
It's us
and
together.
I really do hate hearing like, "Oh, no, women have it, tougher. No, men have it tougher." We both have it tough.
I will say this as a man, knowing that I have a partner that will go to bat for me, and that's gonna hold up their bargain, it makes it easier, a whole lot easier to deal with the BS outside. It makes it a lot easier knowing that I can come home to a place of peace, a place of warmth, and even when the world has beat me down and everything outside here is going wrong, and I can the fact that I can just come home and just be like and just take a breath. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That right there, like
and smell pine
yeah,
sol.
especially lemon pine sol. That right there, motivates me to be like, okay, like this situation, it works for us. Like this is it. This is what I need. I came home, I got a good meal, I got my batteries recharged. I'm gonna go out here and F what they're trying to do or trying to put me through. I'm gonna withstand for the benefit of my family
Well said, babe. Well said. I agree.
and put those spices back where I had them.
What?
Nothing. You heard me.
Okay. That was a good discussion, babe. I like your point of view.
Right.
You made some good points.
Really?
You did.
Maybe you start listening to me then.
Uh, I mean, I do listen to you. Don't make it seem like I'm not a good listener.
Oh no, you listen. You just don't apply.
Yes, I do. I follow your direction sometimes.
Sometimes.
I go to the well you lead me to.
You ain't drinking.
I'm not always thirsty.
That's a lie. Cap.
I'm not always
You
thirsty.
ain't got all them standards for nothing.
But goodbye. Good dang on bye. Anywho, we are going to be moving into my favorite portion of the pod, which is our two
It
cents.
should be called your 4 cents.
Okay, my 4 cents. No, it's our 2 cents. Reaction time.
Reaction time.
Okay. So listen to this. Sex with my boyfriend is
Oh my
so
god.
bad.
Damn. This is what we doing?
Uh-huh. I've been with my boyfriend for about a year and a half. The relationship is great, but the sex is bad. We're both young and healthy. Lately, the past several months, he can't finish during sex. We'll have
Oh.
sex, he'll go soft, and then we'll have to try again, and it repeats. Sometimes this can go on for an hour, and then it usually ends with me crying and him being mad and frustrated. Occasionally, he'll end up finishing. It's so annoying and I hate it, but I don't know what more I can do. He said he'll talk to a doctor and he always makes me finish first, whether or not we have sex. I've tried everything. I give him special attention. I try to switch it up, but nothing. I have practically begged him to keep going after he goes soft because I'm so embarrassed and none of it works. I don't think I can take it anymore. Any advice?
Two things. Offer it.
What?
Offer it.
What?
I'm gonna say the one that's gonna benefit her first.
Okay.
One, he's gay.
What?
One, he's gay. Right? And maybe he's working through his demons and he's
What?
just trying. That's because he's going soft.
I
Right?
would never have guessed you would
Right.
say that.
Right.
I don't even
Hold on.
understand how that could be.
Hold on. So that's the first option.
Okay.
The second option, your cat just trash. Just call. Come, come, come in. Look here. I, as a man with men friends, and I don't know any man that has not reached the goal once entering.
It could be a medical condition. She already said that he said he would go see a doctor about
It's
it
trash.
because
It's trash. It sounds like he ain't never slid in and said, "Damn."
I
It's
think
trash.
I think
It's trash. If he ain't gay, it's trash.
I
It's
think
trash. It don't matter what you think. It's trash.
that's not it.
It is trash. It an hour. He sat there and stroked his member for an hour and did not finish. Trash. As a man, when I stroke my member myself, it takes less than a minute. So you're telling me 60 times of what it takes me, I'm in you, and I still can't finish? Trash.
No. It's
Trash.
okay, so there could be a
Trash.
lack of
Them walls
attraction.
is beat up.
Maybe
They done.
maybe
No,
maybe
trash.
are you not going to let me speak?
Trash. It don't matter what
It
you
could
say.
be
You
medical. It could be
what's
mental.
medical? It's not
It could be
medical.
mental. It could be medical. He could have a medical condition.
If he's already at command going in and going soft during the action, it ain't mental. What it is that it's
You mean medical?
I mean okay,
Because it
it
could
ain't
be
medical,
mental.
right?
It absolutely could be
Right. Okay,
mental.
I'll give you this. Mentally, he could not be attracted to you.
I was gonna say
It
it
could
could be mental, or maybe there is some
look,
lack of attraction and he's trying, or
and
there's a lot going on in his head.
he's gay. Your cat is trash, right?
You said it, not me. You said it, not me.
Or he's not attracted to you. Is But as a man, I don't think that matter. I no,
I was gonna say
nah,
because
nah,
I
yeah,
mean I
nah,
feel like
nah.
and this is
I'm
just
saying,
me
hold
generally
on,
speaking.
don't take this the wrong way, but I can slide into somebody I'm not unattracted to. I'm still getting mine because I'm gonna think about something that would get me going because I'm letting my memory loose. I'm, I, it's ma'am, your cat is trash. I'm sorry to tell you the truth. I mean, I know someone that will sample it for it and let you to verify.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter what I say
Go
or
ahead and say.
think.
So what you think, babe? Go ahead.
I mean,
I ain't gonna
you
say
done
nothing
said
else.
the man was gay. Her cat is
I say there's
trash.
a
Like,
possibility.
okay, well, and I say that it's a possibility that it's mental or medical.
Cause okay,
That's what I'm
what
sticking
did
to.
our cousin say? He said it felt like hot chitlins. It wasn't for him.
Good,
Right?
dank, on,
Right?
by.
Right? That's what he said. That's what he said. And it
So
wasn't
we
for him.
we have a cousin who is gay, and
Don't put his business out there like that. Just say he that's what he said.
yeah, that's what he said, and he didn't like it. So that's why you're thinking the guy might
He's
be
going soft inside after being an hour. First of all, the man's cardio is great. He's pumping for an hour. Hats off to him.
he has great lung
He
capacity.
has to be in great shape. An hour, ma'am, is trash. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, that's it.
My opinion is trash.
That's our 2 cents. It's trash.
Go get that shit tightened up. Man, hit him with a canker or two. Hit a canker while
All
you're in
right.
there.
Well, if you're not already, you can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at Life After I Do Podcast. You can also reach out to us personally at Life After I Do Podcast on
Hold
G
on.
at
No, we ain't done.
gmail.com.
Hold
We
on.
are on
She said
all
that
digital
everything is
streaming
great. He's probably
platforms.
a great listener and a great talker. I think now I'm back to thinking he's gay. He's a great listener. Great.
We are on all digital streaming platforms. New episodes every Wednesday. This has been another episode of Life After I Do podcast with your host Nisha GMO Lethal. And until next week, guys, we will see you again. Peace.